Hey, what's up? Welcome to our series, Wondrously Weird Bible Stories, where we dig into the strange, the supernatural, and the most mysterious parts of the Bible. We're here to explore the bizarre details and surprising twists that make it the most interesting book of all time. So buckle up, things are about to get seriously weird. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that some might deem controversial. I might as well just slap a trigger warning on the whole episode because this is going to require you to critically think and form your own opinion. Believe it or not, this doesn't require a Bible college degree or even permission from your local pastor. If regular dudes like me can do it, you can too. So, what's the topic we're going to talk about? The return of Jesus. While it might not seem controversial, let me ask you a question you might not expect. How many times does Jesus actually return? For some, this question might not even make sense, so let's start from the beginning. In the New Testament, there are three main passages that describe the return of Jesus. One by Jesus himself in Matthew, one by John in Revelation, and one by Paul in Thessalonians. Here's a quick breakdown of each. In Matthew 24 and 25, Jesus speaks to his disciples about the signs of the end of the age and his return. He describes cosmic signs like the sun and moon darkening, his coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory, a loud trumpet call, and angels gathering his elect from across the earth. Jesus also emphasizes the sudden, unexpected timing of his return, urging his followers to stay vigilant. In Matthew 25, he describes a judgment scene where he separates the righteous from the unrighteous, inviting the faithful to inherit his kingdom. In Revelation 19, John describes Jesus as a warrior king on a white horse, descending from heaven. His eyes blaze like fire, and a sword comes from his mouth to strike down the nations. It's a cosmic showdown, with Jesus dressed for battle, his words cutting down the nations in defiance of God's will. Finally, let's look at 1 Thessalonians 4:13-17. Paul describes Jesus descending from heaven with a loud command, the voice of an archangel, and the sound of God's trumpet. The dead in Christ rise first, and then believers who are still alive are caught up with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. There's no mention of battle or judgment here, just Jesus gathering his followers, promising they'll be with him forever. Now, putting these passages side by side raises an interesting question. Are these descriptions of separate events, or could they be different perspectives on a single event? While this might seem like a small detail, it's actually a question that has led to the development of rapture theology, a belief that has split churches and strained relationships. In Matthew, Revelation, and Thessalonians, we see several recurring themes that might suggest they're describing one unified event, much like the four Gospels provide different perspectives on the same story. All three passages depict a visible, triumphant return of Jesus. In both Matthew and Revelation, we see Jesus returning with great power and glory. Matthew's description of cosmic signs, the darkened sun and moon, stars falling, and Jesus coming on the clouds aligns with Revelation's portrayal of a dramatic, world-shaking event. Both Matthew and Thessalonians describe Jesus gathering his followers at the sound of a trumpet. These details suggest the possibility of a single event where Jesus returns to gather his followers, rather than a separate rapture followed by a later return. Another theme is the suddenness of his return, with an emphasis on the need for readiness. Jesus' warning in Matthew 24 about the unexpected timing of his return parallels Paul's statement in 1 Thessalonians 5 that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. Revelation 16 also echoes this theme, where Jesus says, "Behold, I am coming like a thief." This repeated emphasis on unexpected timing and the call for vigilance suggests a single return event that believers are called to be prepared for, rather than multiple appearances. Finally, both Matthew and Revelation highlight the final judgment. In Matthew 25, Jesus describes separating the righteous from the unrighteous, similar to Revelation 20's depiction of the great white throne judgment. Both passages depict Jesus as judge and underscore the eternal consequences of accepting or rejecting his lordship. This shared theme of judgment reinforces the idea of a single, conclusive return that brings an end to the current age. When we consider these passages together, they provide a serious argument for a singular return of Jesus, a visible, triumphant event, a resurrection and gathering of believers, a final judgment with eternal consequences, and a focus on unexpected timing. Just like the four Gospels offer different perspectives on Jesus' life, Matthew, Revelation, and Thessalonians may be giving us complementary views of the same event, described in different ways by different authors. In the end, regardless of the exact sequence, the message is one of hope, the ultimate promise of living with God in a renewed creation, a new heaven and a new earth, as described in Revelation 21, where humanity lives in a restored, perfected relationship with God. Thanks for stopping by. If you enjoyed this, don't miss my series on supernaturality and the Bible. The link is in the description. And just remember to keep reading that Bible.